is still a war when it comes to technical terms? Can we apply this? What is the process before this kind of construction? What is the process with licensing this kind of thing? Or is it now something that can actually be instituted at a higher level? I would say so. I think what we need is more examples. And because there's a lot of people that are afraid of it, because they're afraid of the quality and the efficiency, because we have to actually impress them. And so the first projects, people were very scared. They started going well, and people started understanding that the prices are there, those ones, and there's no changing that. So we see that the demand is growing. So the more amount of companies, the more trust people will have in these kinds of things. Even the question of price is starting to be a growing question. I'd like to say that the question is really this: the price. The price is the most important part. We can go around and around, but if they're not accessible, it becomes very difficult. The price is a false question because the promoter and the constructor looks at this necessity, and we need to give an answer to the person who wants this project. We have to get the money back quickly. And all these conditionals, they make it way more difficult. That's why I have recently, with this question of the monobaths, in less than a year and a half, there are companies who didn't even need to get close to that. We just needed the first one. And it's very funny because the first example was here in St. Tir's. And it was just medium. And they decided to keep going, and they ended up winning because everything that was articulated after, when there's a module, the walls are way better, they are more aligned, things are better built, things are better prepared. It's a cycle. So the cycle is not really the question. What I think it's needed to understand, if we have 10 companies and the prices are very similar, if they're all very similar, we maybe will be able to, in a few years, to make it something not normal. I think the same, and this is a very interesting experience. So if the first projects, the money was something very specific and something very difficult, it is still a bit difficult, especially now. But when we have the experience and we understand this, they may be able to say yes, just to guarantee that this construction is made off site, and it will take the problems from the building. The last time we did this was with a lower rent building. Also, so that's an evident proof that this is the way. And that's exactly what I was going to ask. What we're talking now is during the symposium are these paths to the future in these new ways of living, especially with this medium class. So we have housing being accessible to everyone because those who don't have enough, they have their system solved. But those who have a lot also have it solved. But those in the medium, it's way more difficult. We have to think effectively. How do these ways of thinking and working? One of the things that will possibly be very interesting is the cost with the time. How can we cut the time? How can we cut the time in order to cut the amount of money we have to waste on this? It may also be a path to construct this, but there's another question I would like to ask. Effectively, the architecture part. To what point does this, me also as an architect, it is a bit difficult to understand to what point can we effectively create the spaces without having a condition. When we have architecture, we have to have a process that which organizes this systemically, and it has to start from there. And I think people should be sensible when it comes to that, and architects should understand that the more we optimize these kinds of spaces, the more optimized they will be, even in the engineering area. And to what point can we have these modular part? Can we do different things, and how does it condition each other? Or do we already have an evolution in that sense? I'm not saying that effectively you have to start from a conjunction of things, but how can it be something that cuts our way to go through this? What are the restrictions? That's my question. To what point will we have an opening to not have a certain panel that has to be, we have to work just with those bricks? I think we're trying to do is exactly that. A hybrid system that will have 2D and 3D work together, and that's what architects want. We drew everything individually. Everything was different. Talking about the wood part, but I would say that what we wanted was that we didn't want to just get rid of creativity. So we want to fight for construction that's industrialized, that would still have the same characteristics as what was traditional. We want adaptability that will actually take a place that's healthy. And maybe we haven't gotten there yet, but we're working towards that. I think the same as you. And I think the fact that the common being industrialized, it's fixed. It does not restrain creativity. So that always limits us.
Direction. Where is the quality of life in a world of Lego bricks? Okay. Where is the quality of life in a world made up of Lego bricks? You have the necessity of formatization, of economization, and of optimization. So, where is the quality of life?